As of recording, the president hasn't resigned yet because he's unsure. He was unsure, but he's unsure about being unsure. But based on Twitter conversations that I've had, if he resigns or doesn't, it doesn't really matter. People are deadly scared of David Mabuza, the vice president, and we are here to tell you you have nothing to be worried about. Is that right, Byron?
Yeah, so this is a strange one because obviously everybody goes, well, David Mabuza is second in line because he's the deputy president, which means that technically if Cyril leaves, well, he would take over. But according to the constitution, there would need to be I'm not really 100% sure on this, national election or a party election to replace the president within 30 days. So Mabuza would get the position for 30 days, and then there basically has to be an election, and it would decide who's then going to run that position. Now, for those of you who are wondering, well, would David Mabuza win that? Well, no, actually, he probably wouldn't. And we base this on the fact of the ANC's NEC nominations. And if we look at those, which have just recently come out, Mabuza's not actually in it. In fact, the people that are in it actually are really shit, man. Like, I mean, the quality of the ANC's people is just absolutely disastrous. You've had a look at the list, Ramon. What are your views?
Yeah, so just to keep people on the down low of what's actually happening here, Mabuza didn't make it into the top 100 nominations. He's at number 115 of the nominations. He's number 115th in terms of popularity within the ANC. Pravin Gordhan didn't even get nominated. He's nowhere. Who did get nominated? A sex pest, someone who beat up his housekeeper, and thieves, crooks, and mafias. So basically, normal ANC members. What's his name? Malusi Gigaba, the former finance minister, who pulls out his member every time there's a phone near him. He was nominated. As well, Umduduzi Manana, who beat up his ex girlfriend outside a club because she called him gay. He's nominated. And who else is here? Oh, Fikile
Andile
Mbalula.
Lungise,
Yeah, Fikile
who was
Mbalula's
famous
here.
for Lungi, Andile Lungise, who was famous for hitting a PE counselor over the side of the head with a jug, causing him potential loss of eye, but that didn't happen, obviously. But he obviously went to prison for it. He was supposed to go to prison for quite a while, but if you recall, during the lockdown, Cyril let him out on some kind of amnesty. So he feels, according to him, that he is now the equivalent of Nelson Mandela, who spent years and years and years in prison. I mean, he spent like a day or two in prison, and he feels that that makes him equivalent to Mandela in terms of captivity. He says that he obviously went to prison for the struggle. I suppose the struggle against water jugs, but you never know. This is South Africa.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, so,
but
so
yeah,
sorry, Byron, but the basic premise is Mabuza didn't even make it to the top 100 list. You got all these
no,
sex pests and thugs and everything above him, right? And these people, the sex pests and others, are not even that popular nationally or
no,
within the ANC, but they still beat David Mabuza. So I think it's very important for the audience to understand is David Mabuza is not a threat to this country at
no.
all. No constituency, no money, no nominations in the ANC. Why are you so afraid of him? Because there's no evidence to suggest he'll have any power whatsoever.
No, but I really don't think that we should be moving away from actually looking at who the hell is on this list. Because for those of you who are in any doubt, and I know that's like no one, you got to read this list and just go down all the people that are on this list and just see what a shit show their ANC is. I mean, you got Manana, who was caught on camera for hitting a woman. Right? He got the third highest nominations. He's caught on camera for assaulting females. Remember the whole GBV thing in South Africa? Oh, I suppose that doesn't apply to him, huh? You got the former Women League's president, who, by the way, was guilty of perjury. Every single member on this list, you got like Mkhize or Digital Vibes. Like every single fucker on this list is just such a corrupt person. It's not even funny, man. They've all got such big corruption names claims to their name. It's absolutely unreal. And yet here the ANC is voting these people in time and time and time again. We've said it once, we'll say it twice. The ANC cannot be reformed and it cannot be redeemed. It just can't be done. Mon, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted there. There is one person who I do support. His name's Soviet. Lekanya, number 32. That's a cool
But
name. Like, just based
at
on
least
that
he
name
doesn't.
alone, I think he's
At least he
good.
doesn't hide his political affiliations, eh?
No, he doesn't. But interestingly, at the top of the list, the most popular person is Sihle Zikalala, the former premier of KZN, the one who stole a whole water tank after the floods. And
Yeah,
this
the
is the
one
most
that he
popular
said the water
person.
tank went to his house by accident.
Yeah.
But actually, it was for him, but it wasn't. It was for the community, even though it was in a secure compound.
Yeah. So basically, Byron, I think, the important element for our audience to understand is David Mabuza is nowhere. He can't do anything. Even if he becomes deputy president, he'll be thrown out once the new president is elected at the ANC elective conference, right? Number two, without Cyril, the ANC is so monumentally fucked. Like, it's not even funny. If you think
No.
things are bad, look at this
Mm.
list and you think there is nothing left there. Nothing. If
No.
Cyril goes, everyone goes, like completely in one shot.
Yeah, but the point is, Ramon, these guys shouldn't just be going. They should be going to jail. Like you look at the other one. Oh, and I'm sorry if I butcher the pronouncement of your name. Maybe I'm not. Anyway, Gibaba, whoever that chickie is. Like I can't. Sorry, I can't say the name very well. Tainted in the Zondo Commission for being having close ties with the Gupta family. That's the second highest nomination directly implicated in the Zondo Commission reports. The second highest nomination. Like, there is just nothing good in the ANC. The entire thing is corrupt. And yet you still have people going, oh, the glorious revolutionary movement. There's nothing glorious about it, man. Like, there is 100 nominations on this list, and they're all just scum. Every one
Mm.
of them.
And despite all of that scumminess, these people were voted in by anti branches as being so popular. And David Mabuza is
Well,
not popular. That's the important
now,
part.
now we need to talk about the big thing that this actually what does this really mean, folks? What does it really mean? Well, Montashe himself has said today on record, if Cyril goes, the ANC is dead. The ANC knows themselves. Without Cyril, they're done. They're done. Because look at their nomination list. It's such a shit show of notes of all these corrupt scumbags. Everybody knows if the ANC goes, if Cyril goes, the ANC is finished. But the question I want to ask you, Ramon, and the thing that really frustrates me by these articles is that the ANC has made itself so integral to the life of South Africa that everybody now thinks if Cyril goes and the ANC collapses, the place is going to be chaos. Chaos. What do you think of that?
Yeah, because it's not chaotic already, right? Because we
Hmm.
do have electricity for 24 hours a day. Because we do not have the highest unemployment rate in the world. Because we don't have, 100 rapes a minute or whatever the thing is. Because we're not junk status, right? It's not chaotic right now. Without them,
No.
it probably will be. But I mean, the assumption that, and the journos fall into this trap often because they paid for it. They think South Africa equals the ANC. And it's just not the case. South Africa survives despite the ANC. The ANC is a cancer on everyone else in this country. And if you remove the cancer, you can only go up. Simple as that.
100%. I live in a city right now that's currently having fires everywhere, uncontrolled fires. Oh, and you know why? Because we're in a drought zone. We've got no water. So as a result, we got all these uncontrolled fires everywhere because everything's dry. So you would think, dear viewer, that possibly the fire ambulance would go there and put the fires out.
The fire
Nah, they're
ambulance.
striking. They're not going. So,
The
like,
fire
as a
ambulance.
result,
That's a great name.
as a result, they're just going everywhere. Like the fires are just going everywhere. Outside my office, I got smoke galore. What do you think that smoke does? Anybody who's ever worked with fire knows. Oh, smoke goes down the road and does have a habit of inflaming more fires through the heat of the smoke. Well, we're going to water. The fire trucks just can't be bothered to go there. I mean, municipal law enforcement can't afford to go there either because somebody didn't pay their wages or something. But we're led to believe that things will get worse if somehow Cyril leaves. Like,
Yeah,
how?
yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
want to know. How?
How indeed? Uh, the assumption is that there will be a vacuum of control and order, which doesn't exist at all. People might be saying if Cyril leaves, the rand will tank. That's priced in already. That's going to happen whether he leaves or not, because the rand is the shit
Tank the day
currency.
the Pala Pala report came out. It's all
Yeah,
stabilized now.
it,
Cyril
it,
can go now. Thanks.
it,
Bye.
yeah. Thanks. It tanks anyway.
Mm.
What catastrophic event is going to happen if Cyril leaves early? Will load shedding not end? I can't think of anything that will happen that isn't happening already. We're not going to have land
I've
invasions
heard
because we got
David
those.
Mabuza will come back, mate, and that's because worst thing that could happen.
Yeah, and let's not forget, David Mabuza is the best president we ever had. He was president for a week. Load shedding ended. Junk status was removed, and something else happened. Oh, we dropped masks or COVID mandates or some bullshit. He's the best president we ever had, so maybe we should welcome him with open arms rather than fear him.
Oh, and breaking news, folks! This just came out. The Archbishop of South Africa, some guy made Makoba, I don't know, Archbishop or what. But anyway, he's also come out now saying, "Oh, no, Cyril can't go because that would put South Africa." Notice the words, folks. South Africa in crisis because the ruling party would have a complete meltdown.
Mm,
This is the problem with one party bullshit states, mate. When you've only got one party that everybody thinks is like the only thing holding the place together, when that party inevitably self implodes, they're like, no, it's going to take the rest of the state out with it. This should never have been allowed to occur. And the only reason this has been allowed to occur, that we tend to tar South Africa with the ruling party, is because the bloody commies think that the only thing that can happen is there must be this one party state where they tell everybody to do. They tell everybody what they're going to do. They have central control over the police and the army and the air force. We understand that. That's the role of them. But they can't just stay there, can they? Then they're going to have complete control over the health services, the employment services, the private sector, the JSE listing. They want to have complete and utter control. But look at the nomination list. They are such a bunch of corrupt scumbags. Do you really want these people controlling your life? Because these aren't smart people. Rob Hersoff has said it himself. We are not led by smart people. We are led by morons. And here you have proof. Here's your proof right here.
mm.
Nomination list. Look at the nomination list.
Yeah, it is linked below.
Morons.
So basically, Cyril needs to go ASAP. The ANC needs to implode ASAP. And we're going to go up from there. Like, I don't give a shit about anything else, really. Let me know what you think in
No,
the comments.
absolutely.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Speak soon. Cheers.
Bye.